Greetings, Internet. Salutations to all of you. This is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. And I want to remind you to subscribe to these YouTube videos so that you always get the latest update whenever we come out with a new one. The one we have for you today is from Martin. And this is a pretty cool time-limited guitar that Martin has just released to the public. It's something I've been excited to get in my hands, and it's something I'm excited to bring to you today. So this is Martin's DR Centennial guitar. This is capping off their celebration this year of the 100th anniversary of the Dreadnaught guitar. So let's back up a little bit and talk about some of that history. Martin Guitars invented the Dreadnaught back in 1916. So while the Cubbies finally got their first World Series in over 100 years, it's been about 100 years since the Dreadnaught was invented. Named after the HMS Dreadnaught, big battleship from Her Majesty's Navy. It was a guitar designed to compete with banjos and mandolins and deal with the need at the time, without amplification, of having a big sound and a lot of volume in a guitar. Now, those first Dreadnaughts were 12-fret guitars, and it was right around, just after the Dreadnaught was introduced, that guitars started to become 14-fret. And Martin really kind of started all of this. They invented the shape, they started doing the 14-fret guitars. What we consider a modern guitar today, we owe a lot to the Martin Guitar Company for doing so. So, for a 100-year celebration, Martin has done this wonderful limited edition model. Now, it's limited by time, not by number. They're only going to produce this for so long, and then they'll be gone. And this is what I tend to call a value-oriented limited edition model, because you get a ton of bang for the buck. So let's kind of go over some of the specs that we get on this great guitar, and then we're going to play it so you can hear just how robust this cannon is. So it's a Dreadnaught shape, obviously, right? It's what we'd call a D14 or a Dreadnaught 14 fret. And this isn't necessarily part of any series, but maybe the closest cousin might be a 15 or 17 series in Martin's lineup. What we've got is a Rosewood body, East Indian rosewood, in a satin finish. There's no binding on the back. We have cream binding for the top, which is a lovely piece of Adirondack spruce. Now, this is Adirondack spruce that has Martin's VTS, or Vintage Tone System, treatment on it. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. It features 5/16" scalloped bracing that is forward shifted, so it opens up the bottom here for a little bit more robust, boomy sound. Rosewood bridge, rosewood fingerboard, bone saddle, bone nut. It's a select hardwood neck with a modified low oval profile and a high performance taper, 1 3/4" bone nut. We've got the open back butterbean tuners and the vintage logo. The dot inlay is the basically 1950s 18 series style inlay from that era. The whole guitar basically screams a vintage aesthetic, and that's what it's going for. It's harkening back to those stripped down workman's guitars of yesteryear, and it's got the tone to go along with it. So let's talk about price point real quick, because I want to emphasize just how much value is in this guitar. This guitar is selling right now for a street price of $2,000, $19.99 to be exact. And I feel pretty safe saying that, since this is a limited edition, but always go on our website, alamomusic.com, to check for the latest pricing information should it change. And this guitar, honestly, should probably go for a little bit more, but Martin's brought it in at this price point, and it's just fantastic value. You get a hard shell case with it. It's all solid construction. But let's talk about the Adirondack top and rosewood body. Getting a rosewood guitar at this price point is pretty awesome to begin with. Getting one that has a VTS Adirondack top from Martin is phenomenal. So if you're not familiar with VTS, VTS is Vintage Tone System. It's Martin's take on torrefaction. And this has kind of been a buzzword in the industry. Taylor's doing it with their 600 series. There's lots of builders who are starting to experiment with torrefaction. And there's a few things that I want to kind of express right off the bat. One is that torrefaction is an amazing process that we've utilized to age wood and really open up a guitar so that you're buying something that already has some great resonance to it. But it's not a silver bullet. A bad guitar torrefied will still be a bad guitar. A great guitar torrefied is even better as a result of it. So the VTS process is something that we can appreciate for what it is. And in this particular case, it basically ensures that you are getting a very vintage sounding instrument right out of the box. What Martin does is it uses its own recipe in order to kind of bake these tops. So torrefaction, in a nutshell, is the process of heating wood in a low oxygen environment at a high temperature in order to cause this wood to age as it would naturally on its own. As wood ages, some of the content in the wood crystallizes, some of the volatiles in the wood evaporate, and for lack of a better term, these kind of valves that are in the wood that, when it's a tree, allow moisture to move back and forth through it, close. And what you end up with is a lighter, stiff, more resonant piece of wood. And this is why, over time, guitars, as they age, open up and sound better and better and better. So it's pretty cool that we can do that nowadays with this process. That is usually a process reserved for custom shop guitars and vintage spec or authentic spec guitars from Martin. Those are typically high dollar instruments. So I want to stress that to you. To get a VTS Adirondack top on a guitar that's $2,000 is pretty awesome. And what does it do? Well, Adirondack, Rosewood, that's the combination from yesteryear. That's the woods that you saw in pre-war Martins that are lusted after. I recently was at the Martin factory and got to play an early 40s D45 that was Brazilian Rosewood, Adirondack Spruce, and it was an amazing guitar. I mean, that's your holy grail of acoustic guitars. So what Martin's done for the anniversary is give us a very value-oriented version of that that's already opened up, and God, it's just an amazing guitar. 1 3/4 inch nut makes it real comfortable neck. The profile on the taper, it plays great, it sounds great. I'm going to let it speak for itself now. So if you have any questions or you want any more specifics on the specs of this guitar, go on our website, alamomusic.com, or give us a call or come in to the store and visit us and check one of these out, because they are not going to last very long, and I have a feeling that they're going to fly off our shelves once people know what an amazing value it is. So let's give it a listen to. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our videos. We're eager to help you, so if you have any questions, please give us a call or come by and see us so we can help you discover music in your life. Thanks for watching.